Hi everybody, it's Carrie here from Tambella Arts, and today we're doing E for Easy Does It. And you can probably say tiger on the end of that. Easy does it, tiger. It's a bit of an Australianism there for you. Okay, so let's kick off. What we need to do is print out my templates from my A to Z of Colourful Quilling. So we have our tracing template and we have our quilling template. And we'll start off with our tracing template today. Then I've also got some cardstock, so that's American craft cardstock, some baking paper or parchment paper, so what you need to do is take your parchment paper. You can at this point, you can also sticky tape your parchment paper down to your work surface or to your tracing template. And then I'm also using a ruler. Again, this isn't necessary, but it'll help you make perfectly straight lines. So we take our trace, and what we do now is we're going to push that trace onto our cardstock. Now this cardstock is textured on one side. I like my texture to face up when I'm actually putting the work together, and I've missed the middle part of the E there. That's okay, we'll get around that. Once again, you could sticky tape down your work if you wanted to. I'm just going to freeball it right now. Okay, there's our E. At this stage, you could use your scalpel on your cutting mat to cut your letter E out. I'm going to use a pair of scissors. I'm going to leave those last two little bits, and I'm actually going to use my scalpel. And if you're using your scalpel to cut all the pieces, this would be the same process for all of the sections that you're cutting away. You just want nice, straight, strong lines. So we flip our letter over, and that gives us our letter E, and I've forgotten to nip off that section which I actually forgot to trace. There we go. Okay, our next step is to start creating the outline of our letter. So what we'll be doing is actually making the outline border to create like a template or a shell for our work. So grab your strips that you've cut from the same cardstock and some glue. I've had this glue out for a little bit, allowing it to dry, and what I'm going to do now is just literally line up my strips against my piece to measure them. And again, this is where this thicker cardstock really shines, because it will hold a straight line really, really well. I'll use my tweezers at this stage too to dip in my glue, and then placing these. And what we're doing is we're building off that initial piece to create the full outline. When you're putting a piece down that's meeting another piece, you can dip the end of it into your glue as like so. Okay, and we're down to our last part. let's place this strip in the place. Beautiful. Now for that little section just between there, I'm just going to dab an offcut in some glue and then slide it down the side here, just so that that's got something else to grab to. There we go. Okay, going to let this dry for a couple of minutes and then I'll come back and show you what I mean about snipping those edges off. Okay, so our final step now that our piece is dried is to cut off all these little extra excess tails that are hanging over the edge. There we go. You're wanting to cut as close as you can to the edge without going over. And that's it. That's how we quill our letter E. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.